Hey YouTube, TurtleAgs here, bringing you another AFK journey video. Today I will be going over the optimal team to clear the Necrodragon on Hell mode. I just unlocked it during the daily reset today, and just to kind of put this in context here, for those of you who have yet to reach Hell mode, my resonance level is 355 around-ish. Okay, well 356 now. So around resonance level 356 is around the time when maybe you will unlock Hell mode for the Necrodragon. And as per usual, I'll go over first Necrodragon's kit, then I'll showcase what I believe to be the best team combination / artifact selection. And then finally, we will go over at least one free-to-play option. Alright, so let's first talk about the Necrodragon himself. Now, he is a very special Dream Realm boss because he is the Dream Realm boss that requires very specific units, specifically units that move around a lot in order to comfortably clear. And the reason for this is because the Necrodragon periodically at the 15, 40, and 65 second mark starts doing stacks of Abyss Sacrifice, which increases, actually this is not the, I'm sorry, so at the 15, 40, and 65 second mark, he increases your attack speed of 3 of your units while also increasing the damage that they take. But the part I was referring to about needing mobile units for this fight was him creating a 1-tile Abyss Mire that persists for 4 seconds. It's literally like he spits out a swamp that covers the ground, and any units that are caught in that swamp will take continuous 35% damage per second. And the thing is that for this ability right here, you see here, yeah, so there's the swamp issue, and then there's also where at the 5 second mark, and then every 20 seconds, he will plant kind of like a landmine under all your units, and your units have 15 seconds to get out of the way before it explodes and does a bunch of damage, reduces energy and the attack, and these stacks remain until the duration of the fight. For the rest of the fight, they cannot be dispelled. And so I will point it out when we actually start the battle, but essentially what this means is like you want to bring units that are able to move around while being able to do good damage against the Necrodragon. But there will be times when you still need to bring a stationary unit, and just know that that stationary unit will likely die sooner than the rest of your party if you cannot keep them nice and healthy. So the team that I cooked up is going to be basically a team that utilizes one of the best mobile units in the game, Merrily. The nice thing about Merrily is that she is a very high damage, a very strong damage dealer that does true damage, has high attack speed, high crit, and she jumps around periodically, which means that she will jump out of any landmine before it explodes, and she can also jump out of the swamp. Same thing goes with Temesia, although Temesia, even though she's a mobile unit, she does tend to kind of hug around the boss. So if the boss spits out a swamp near where he is at, Temesia might not stay out of it for very long, but still being out of the swamp is still useful, and at least she will get out of the landmine. And then as for the rest of the units, we have Thorn here. With his seasoned skill, he is able to increase the damage taken by the Dream Realm boss by 11% for 3 seconds after doing normal attacks. And this will increase our damage output. We also have Rainier to increase our damage output by increasing the damage taken by the enemy by 25%. He also increases Merrily's attack, lowers the Necrodragon's attack, and also at EX10 mitigates the damage done to the dynamic balanced ally by 25%, thus improving their survivability. And then finally we have Kruger. Kruger is here for the 40% physical defense shred, And with both Mirrorly being a physical attacker, as well as, Temesia and Thorin being physical, they are all going to do increased damage. And then finally, we're going to use the Quick Blade spell, which also does physical defense shred while also improving the survivability of our units by granting them 38.4% physical and magic defense. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and do this fight. I'm going to point out a few things here. Okay, so you see those blue puddles, right? The yellow. Once that yellow meter goes all the way down, it's going to explode, and Rainer's going to get hit. He actually dies because of that. So this is an excellent example of why you want to bring mobile units. Once again, the landmine. So see, Merrily jumped out of it. Kruger and Thorn are going to eat that, but they're both warriors and tanks, so they do survive a little bit better. Now, I do want to emphasize that this is hell mode, so the damage that we're going to take is way more than what you guys may be accustomed to. And the cool thing is that when Merrily and Thorn form a pact with each other, and your Thorn is EX10, any damage that Merrily does will heal up Thorn, which is pretty cool. Alright, so not bad, not bad. So this is kind of the damage output of my units. Now, one of my viewers was asking me, what do you do if you don't have Kruger built? Or what do you do if you don't have Rainier built? And if that is the case, an excellent alternative actually would be Corrin. And Corrin is an excellent mobile unit to use because Corrin not only moves around a lot, does true damage, so thus his damage output is not bad, but he's also a physical attacker that can utilize Brutus's 40% physical defense shred, and he is also a mobile unit. Not to mention, Corrin also shields your units, which can improve the survivability of your units. So let's go ahead and give this a try, and you can kind of see the difference in damage. Now my Corrin is fairly well built, also EX15, so this should be a good showcase. Let's see how it goes. Just hitting hell mode and boys, it giving me hell. Oh no, suspicious. Corrin died pretty early there. So notice how Merrily is hanging on a little bit, having a harder time surviving. So you guys may be wondering, why was this run so much shorter, 27% instead of 3% that we got, 46%. The reason for that is because when you have Rainier EX10, he mitigates the damage of your ally by 25%. And at that time we had dynamic balanced Merrily, so Merrily was taking 25% less damage throughout the fight, which was why she was surviving so much better in the previous run. So this is one of those situations where not having key units can certainly impact your ranking, and there's not really much you can do about that. Rainier is just that broken. That's why I always tell people, prioritize Mythic plus Rainier first before any other Celestial Hypogene. But it's up to you. At the end of the day, you have to enjoy the game. So that would be the alternative, I would say. Any other alternatives I would recommend? Well, there is a case to be made where certain mobile units, any mobile unit has a chance to do well on the stage, although to playtest it would require multiple runs. I don't know if Alsa is still bugged and gets killed easily. Keep in mind, for lower powered accounts, RNG swings will be wild. The same team for me can hit 10% or 50% with no changes made. Suspicious does make a very good point, because if the Necrodrakon, for instance, does a lucky crit on your unit's going to die. That's just the reality of it. And some of you guys may be asking why I don't bring Coco to this fight like I do in most fights, where we're punching way above our weight class, and the reason for that is because of the bombs. Like as you saw with Rainier earlier, he died so quick. I think he died with maybe 40 or more seconds left. And the reason is because he's a stationary unit, and we don't have many stationary units in the game right now. I'm a bit puzzled as to why Corrin died that quick, given that he can shield, but he isn't exactly he's not protected in the same way Merrily is by Thorn, because Thorn does mitigate 50% of the damage taken by Merrily, so or takes half of the damage that Merrily takes. How's the Tiger looking like Artifact doing? We could give it a try. Let me actually go back to Rainier. I'm actually curious if this will increase the score or not. Yeah, so there's actually technically two units that are keeping Merrily alive. One unit is Rainier, who is giving her 25% damage reduction taken. And then you also have Thorin, who formed a pact with Merrily to take half of the damage that Merrily is taking. And Merrily is healing up Thorin. So even though Thorin is a stationary unit, Merrily is keeping Thorin alive. Now, the Evocation spell is quite nice because it has 4 different modes. 2 modes are able to improve the damage output of your units, and the other 2 modes have some defensive capabilities. For the defensive capabilities, you have the damage reduction by 45%, and then you also have the leech rate. And actually, with the Evocation spell, it appears to me that we're doing quite well. Thank you for the tech, Roxarder. This is actually my most favorite spell, and it actually did really well. That has got to be much better. Oh my god, we're rank 2 now. Nice. Okay. Wow. That was a much better run there. And I believe the reason has to do with the Evocation spell offering defensive buffs that are quite substantial, as well as offensive buffs to increase your damage output. So this appears to be the best artifact team combination. I think Ceci is good versus this boss. Okay, are we talking about free-to-play option or like actual meta-defining team? And by the way, Cessia, she is a stationary target, meaning she's going to eat all of the bombs. How much more damage has the number 1? Let me see. An extra 10 bill more. Yeah. Ceci is not, because Hyde's stats are based on hers. Yeah. And the boss debuff stationary unit stats. Yeah. Ceci appears well with Kruger as in general due to her physical damage, assuming you can keep her alive. Yeah. That's actually the big problem right now. With Hell mode, you're going to take so much more damage, and the Necrodragon will annihilate any unit that doesn't move. So anyways, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. Wanted to keep it short and sweet. If you have any suggestions regarding artifact selection or other free-to-play options, do leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next video.